So we will, in this course you will have a detailed understanding from basic to an intermediate level at least, where you will be able to solely perform a chaos engineering activity in your organization, from planning to execution to analysis. And as I said before also, the chaos engineering is more dependent on, like, if you see the market trend, as the cloud services grew, chaos engineering grew. So as this continues, like as the cloud will grow further, or the monolithic systems which you have will go through technology transformation, chaos engineering will further grow. Okay, and so we are at a stage where now the it's almost like every organization is now looking into applying chaos engineering. And it is also as if, like, for example, now if you are a performance engineer, or some other, you are from some other testing background, then they are looking for that person to have a chaos engineering knowledge also, so that they don't need to keep another person for doing the same activity. So in those all these ways, chaos engineering is getting hold of the market, and soon it will be the mainstream activity also. Like for example, the performance engineering, without performance engineering nowadays no application is being released, or let's say without automation testing no product is being released. So similar to that, there will be a time, maybe down the line, maybe 1 or 2 years, that any product will be released to production only after performing a chaos engineering activity on it. So yeah, so that's how the chaos engineering is becoming very important in the market. And we will be learning a lot about it, like starting from how you plan an experiment. So in chaos engineering, generally we don't have the word, don't use the word testing, we use experimenting. The reason of that we will understand when we start the sessions. So we will be starting from how we plan to how you analyze and give recommendations to improve your systems to make it resilient and reliable. So let me share my screen. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we
Yes.
go through the course, how we will be going through, even if you just look into the course content. So the course is done mainly modeled in such a way that when you are into any testing practice, the main thing what you require, like you can divide it into multiple stages. Okay. So any, like, take it any testing practice. So one is planning, obviously we are planning. Then we have, if you see the execution, or even you can say building, okay, or designing the test. In performance or some other, we can say scripting and all, okay, designing the test. Then we have the execution. Then we have monitoring and analysis. I will put it both together, okay. And obviously we have reporting also. So now these are the main, like, any testing course, if it is like an end-to-end course, which is being designed so that anyone can perform it from end to end, like an end-to-end activity. So these stages will be there in that course, and this is how the course will proceed. Okay. So now if you see each stage by stage, the planning, obviously we will understand what's chaos engineering, how what are included in chaos engineering, what is not chaos engineering, what are the limitations, how you create a test plan document, or we can say a chaos engineering plan document. Okay, so we will learn those things, how you read an NFR if you already have an NFR, what are the reliability use cases you identify, how you identify from an NFR, and all those will come in the planning stage. Now designing the test, we will learn different tools.
Highest
So
paid
if you see
entry
this
level
course,
job in the is
we
not of
have
product
chosen two
manager or software developer.
tools. One is Gremlin and one is Chaos Mesh. But before this batch, the tool which we were using was Chaos Toolkit instead of Chaos Mesh. But current batch onwards, we have made a small improvisation based on the current market trend. Chaos Mesh is getting more hold of compared to Chaos Toolkit. And based on the analysis, like there are different tools in the market, like there's Litmus Chaos, Chaos Mesh, Chaos. Then even there is like Chaos Blade. Then obviously we know Gremlin, right? So the tools which by my analysis and my experience how the market trend is and how it is moving on, we have chosen two tools. One is Gremlin and chaos mesh. So we will be seeing that in detail, how you starting from how you deploy Gremlin or chaos mesh into your infrastructure. So in this process we will be also learning, because chaos engineering is more about not only performing some activity on the tool but also understanding the system, right? So we will be trying to understand what are Kubernetes systems, what are Dockers, what are containers, what are the different types of systems available in the market, and how you deploy Gremlin or Chaos Mesh onto these systems. Because, for example, if you take, let's say, Kubernetes cluster or systems, there how you deploy Gremlin is different than where you have containers or than where you have only just a monolithic system, right? So everywhere the deployment type or deployment method also changes, and how you configure these tools. So that we will be learning, and also how you create your use cases out of it. Okay, then obviously in the execution we'll be learning different ways of creating the scenarios, different attacks, different types of attacks, and what are its significance, how you execute it, what are the things you will take care, what are golden signals, scheduling the attack, and all those stuff we will see in the execution stage. Again, it will be mainly focused on the tool and how you run it and all those. Now monitoring and analysis is very important, like, because this is the stage where we will learn what all metrics you look into, what are the, or how do you define a baseline, how you instrument your systems, okay, so that you have a better visibility of your system, like the event collections, what you collect. Like, so in this process we will learn mainly two tools. So the tool which we will be using is Prometheus and Grafana. Most of you might have already worked on this tool also. So basically this course is for every or the general audience. Okay, so we will be learning again how to configure Prometheus Grafana, to how you monitor and analyze using Prometheus and Grafana, and also the log level analysis. Like, for example, if you have a Kubernetes cluster, how you go deeper into the logs and find out the problems. Okay, like, let's say I want to read the Kubernetes logs, right? If I want to find out what happened to the pod when I did some attack, and that logging, how I start the logging, or how I stop the logging, or I just want to make my pod give me warning, like, for example, those things. Okay, how you do that? So that we will be learning in the monitoring and analysis part. And also what key events or key things you will be looking into, what are the abort conditions, and all those stuff we will be seeing in the monitoring and analysis. And obviously reporting is very important, because in any testing practice, if you are doing, okay, without a proper reporting, it will never give you an ROI, or your organization will never get a return on investment unless you don't report or you don't communicate what your findings are properly. So we will also learn how you report, how you create a proper report, how efficiently you can create it, and what are the key things you should take care when you are reporting. So all those stuff we will learn in the reporting stage. So this is how we will be going from starting to the end. Okay, and obviously the stages which we will be covering is also the how the flow of the course will also be like this. Okay, and so now if I want to list down, okay, what all things I will learn in this process. One is planning, obviously how to create the plan and all those. Then the tools, if you say, we will learn Gremlin, we will learn Chaos Mesh, then we will learn Prometheus, Grafana, I'm saying it like a combination because generally it comes as a combination. Grafana alone cannot provide you anything. It has to be linked with some data source like Prometheus or InfluxDB. Like there are multiple data source, even Graphite. Okay. So currently we are using Prometheus and Grafana. And we also have a demo application which is Kubernetes based, on which we will be doing the attacks and all. Okay, on which we will be doing the real time application. Like we have a microservice based application which we will deploy to the Kubernetes cluster. Everyone will be able to do it on your local machines, so there won't be any problem. Okay, and we will also use a bit of AWS because we might need to show a little bit of cloud things, which how you do it, and what are the things you need to look for, like what's an external IP, how you configure the security groups and all. So in that process, we will learn AWS, EC2 instances, mainly focusing on the computing part, like the EC2 instances. What are the like computational resources, right? We will be focusing on that. Okay. Then seventh is we will be obviously learning how to report something, right, in the reporting part. And uh, if you see even what are containers, Docker, what are pods, all those doubts, what all you have in the like maybe by this time you would have got the doubts, like what are the difference between pods or containers, or like let's say what really is an image which is built over to the pod, how the pod auto scaling works, what are different types of probes, right? So all those doubts will be also like it will be clear like once you finish this course. Yeah, so any questions anyone till now
Yeah,
regarding
hi
anything?
Vishnu. Hi Vishnu,
Yeah,
this is Nandan.
yeah,
So
hi Nandan.
I have a question regarding the Chaos Mesh. Actually, is it an open source tool or is it a licensed tool?
Yeah, it's an open source tool, Nandan. Yeah.
Okay. So can I feel like all the open source tool have common kind of platform where we can inject the faults into the system?
So see,
Or
it's not that straightforward. Okay, so how these so we generally in chaos engineering we can divide the tools into open source and paid ones. So open source also, like it's not just one type of attack, like you can have multiple types of attacks, so you need to choose your open source tool based on what's your application. Like for example, chaos mesh you cannot use for monolithic systems, it will be applicable only to Kubernetes type systems. Okay, so that's the main no, I will not say disadvantage, but yeah, that's the main constraint which you have when you choose a chaos mesh. But if you go with some other open source tool like some chaos toolkit and all, it might work for monolithic systems, but the problem with that is the configuration, how you do it is very difficult. Okay, chaos mesh is far more easier. Oh, okay.
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, as I said, and again, when you choose an open source tool, you have to be very careful about the reliability of the tool. Like it's an open source one, so how reliable the tool will be, and why we should like if I would say maximum try for the paid tool, which is Gremlin, because you won't be in trouble later on. But let's say if your client is very much constrained on the costing, yeah, go ahead with the open source tool like Chaos Mesh. There's no problem in
Uh,
that. Yeah,
I just asked this because in our org actually we had an
yeah.
in-house tool which is developed for chaos engineering. So I just want to
Hmm.
know like if I go through this course and if I do all the experiments over in here, so could I correlate with the same to the tool which I am using?
Yeah, you can see. Basically, only thing what will change is how you maybe do the attack. Okay, but what you do and why you do all those questions, how you do might change because based on the tool, maybe the interface might be different. Maybe some little commands might be different, but the fundamentals will remain same because all the tools are built over it. Okay, so there you won't be having a problem. You will be able to grasp and create the use cases and even run different types of attacks on it. And so, may I know how many types of attacks you do generally in that, like that tool supports?
Actually, I am also new to this tool. Actually, I think around 20, 30 attacks it supports, I
Okay,
think.
yeah, okay, 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 yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Vishnu, Guru here. So,
yeah,
may I know
Guru.
the difference between performance engineering and QoS engineering? So, as we know, like a performance engineering means like we'll be monitoring like a client metrics and a server metrics. So, we need to investigate the things in performance
Correct,
engineering, correct?
correct.
So, then
Yeah.
what is the difference between performance engineering and QoS engineering, Vishnu?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's a very good question, okay? Because there are a lot of engineering practices currently there in our organization. And so how is chaos engineering different from those engineering practices? So this we will see in deep, but to give you a quick overview what it is, see, now generally you take any other engineering practice. In chaos engineering, what we are interested is in not whether your system will, so see, generally chaos engineering is uh, never confused with performance engineering, but it's confused with the failover testing, or we can say disaster recovery. Okay, so because there is a clear differentiation between chaos engineering and performance and all other engineering, because here we are mainly focusing on infrastructure attacks. Okay, so attacks are not restricted to the stability of the system or the load which we are applying, nothing like that. So performance engineering has no connection with chaos engineering as such. Connection means maybe a help might be required for the chaos engineer from performance engineer to generate the traffic. But if you see the fundamental objectives what we follow in chaos engineering, there is no connection between both. So what generally we do in chaos engineering is we are mainly focused on how any noise if inserted into a system, or any problem which happens in the system, how it will propagate to other systems and how your system will respond to that. So basically here, now if I try to compare it with failover testing, or if someone knows what's a disaster recovery or failover testing, so here we are never looking into how your system will uh, stand in a failure. Like for example, let's say I had 5 nodes in my system. Out of that 5 nodes, 3 nodes failed. Okay, so the traffic, let's say it was 1,000 users which we are using. So five out of five, 3 nodes are gone. Okay, so out of that 5, 3 is gone. Now we have only 2 nodes. Now whether these 2 nodes be able to take that 1,000 user traffic is failover testing or disaster recovery testing. But in chaos engineering, we are not saying that it will be able to take the load, but what we are saying is after it fails, whether it will recover fast. Like for example, out of five nodes, you have 2 nodes, and these 2 nodes will fail because it's not able to take that 1,000 traffic. But as soon as it fails, in a minute or maybe maximum 2 minutes, whatever the SLA is for your chaos engineering, um, it should recover fast in that specific time. So it's more about the recovery and your customer experience also, which you are focusing in your chaos engineering activity. Is it clear, Guru, now?
Yes, Vishnu. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we will be seeing this very deep. Okay, like as you progress, even you will be able to imagine also what this is really. Okay, and all your confusions, because nowadays in market, especially when there is some new thing coming. Okay, there is a lot of confusion because everyone will be putting their own views, and that will confuse everyone. But in simple words, if in simple words, if you put it, you will be able to clear everything what all those confusions are, and you'll know it was such a simple thing. um, and it's like any other testing practice. Okay, yeah. Faraz, you had some question. Let me see. Okay. If this tool or works fully on cloud containers, can we apply this tool on inject it like yeah, so there is no limitation of such, like we cannot do it on the hard devices like POS and all, but you might have to little do some research based on what machinery, what softwares you're using in that, and to how to configure this. But it's not restricted to cloud. Obviously, it's your tools. You can obviously run it on monolithic system, bare metal systems everywhere. Okay, so there is no such limitation, especially Gremlin and but chaos mesh you cannot. Okay, because chaos mesh is mainly modeled for the engineering platforms which are Kubernetes based. Okay, but Gremlin obviously you can, but you will have to little explore based on what the algorithm or the software which is running on those pause machines or the chaos machines, whichever you have.
I wish me I was able to unmute myself. It's Faraz here. Can I ask
Yeah.
a couple of questions, please?
Yeah, so that we will discuss. This question might be a bit early for you to understand, but still, if I give you an overview, obviously, I guess first of all, can anyone explain me what is a serverless system? If you know what's a serverless system,
It's a kind of microservices.
yeah.
So it
Anyone,
is running on
any,
the cloud.
yeah,
So
correct.
I
It's kind of event-driven thing in cloud.
Exactly. So basically, the system so here we don't have any limitation that you can do it on only server system or serverless systems. You can do chaos engineering activity on any system. Okay, but the structure is what matters. Like it's whether it's on Kubernetes, whether it's on monolithic systems. So that will matter a lot. Okay, based on what tool you choose. But otherwise, there is no problem that you cannot do it on serverless systems. You can. Okay.
Vishnu Arul here.
Yeah, Arul. Go ahead.
So since you emphasize on infrastructure, is this chaos engineering just meant to do it in production, or you can do it in the lower environment?
Yeah, that's a good question because everyone, when we start chaos engineering, they are afraid or they get overwhelmed by listening the word production. So no need to worry. See, this chaos engineering activity was modeled to be performed on production environment. Okay, but how it got adapted into the organizations is it first you do certain things on lower environment and then you do it on production environment, but that too very less because we will try to understand that deep. Like there's a concept called game day, but before that, to give you a quick overview, so what we do generally is in any organization, um, so you have the production environment, like let's say 10 use cases you have which you want to test, but generally the window which you get in production environment is during non-peak hours, one thing, and second is like maybe 5 to 10 minutes only, okay, where you will be doing your experiments. Now this 5 to 10 minutes you can never complete your 10 use cases which you have. Okay, so what you do generally is that 10 use cases you will be focusing on only, let's say, all 10, like on the lower environments. So you will divide the 10 use case in such a way, like let's say performance environment, I can run 5 use cases. In test environment, I can run some 5 use cases based on the use case. Like for example, if in use case there is a real service, so you cannot use perf environment because perf environment generally have mocks like stubs or something, right? So we cannot do there. So what we do it on test environment where the real services are there. Similarly, but if it's fully focused on infrastructure, we do it on perf environment. Then once these 10 use cases are tested, you will find out of this 10, 2 has problem. Okay. Now these 2 problems will be fixed. The chaos engineering problem will be fixed. And after it is fixed, these 2 problems will be tested in production. So
Okay.
that we are make sure, okay, in production also it is working as expected. So that's how generally the organizations are doing. And if some clients won't allow production, we stick to lower environments and we fix the issues.
Okay.
Is it clear, Arun? Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear, Vishnu. So is
Can
there
we
any
apply
way
this
that
on the
you can
hardware
actually?
devices?
Sorry, I got two voice. Uh,
It's
Either
Faraz.
Faraz or Arun. Yeah.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry, or
Faraz.
somebody. Okay. Hey, thanks. So just a quick question. I just want to understand if
Faraz, sorry, your voice is little low.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, better now. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I have some issues with the microphone. So, first question is it only applied for the cloud or containers based applications?
No. It is not. Okay. It is for also non-containerized applications, monolithic systems.
Okay.
But only thing is, if you have a container-based application or services, microservice-based applications, it is far more easier to debug. Okay,
Got it.
so yeah, that way it's
And then,
good. But if you don't have
okay,
it, you will have to do a bit better debugging. Like either at
got
least
it.
you should have a good tool to debug. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on the hardware devices. Mostly my
Okay.
work is on hardware devices on the payment systems, um, like credit card machines and point of sale systems.
Yeah.
Developed on .NET, C#.NET. Can we inject this tool uh, directly to the devices, connect to the devices, or it has to be from like it has to be on the cloud, the application?
No, no. So see, let's say let me take an example. Maybe let me know if I got the question correctly. So let's take some POS machine which is based on .NET or .NET environment, and you want to deploy Gremlin onto it. Okay. So Gremlin is a platform, is a chaos engineering platform. Okay, and it will help you to inject the failures and all everything. So you have to deploy Gremlin first to that. So installing the Gremlin agent onto your POS system, you might have to bit look into how you will package, like for example, what you will have to do is that Gremlin agent you have to package in your software itself. And when that generally there is a package manager or someone, okay, who will be working on the packaging. Okay, so those people will, what they will do is they will deploy Gremlin with that package into the machine. Okay, in that way
Okay,
you will be able to connect. Yeah,
sounds good.
and you will be able to run everything as usual. Okay, like a normal system.
Okay, so basically it should be part of the build process, right? It should be one of the
Correct.
uh,
Yes.
application in the package, so it will can install. Okay, got it.
Exactly. Yeah. But
Great,
it will be
great.
more sort of a one-time activity, because later on, whatever they will make the changes, they will keep that agent installed, right? So you won't need to do it every time. Only
Mm-hmm.
one-time activity you might have to do with the packaging.
Same goes to the CI/CD pipeline then.
Yes, exactly. Same goes to the CI/CD also.
Perfect.
Yo, okay. Sorry. Yeah, that good point you pointed out for us. Actually, one point I missed to say. Is my screen still being shared?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so after reporting, sorry, a very important point I forgot. We also have the CI/CD. Okay, so nowadays automation is a very big topic, right? How you automate your experiments or how you automate your tests. So we will also be seeing the CI/CD automation, and in that process, we will learn what's Jenkins, how you use Jenkins, and even GitHub, like how you use GitHub. Though GitHub not in very detail or very in depth, but yeah, we will be learning how you use GitHub as a version control tool or as a repository tool. Okay, yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah, sorry, I left that part off.
No, I'm good. I think I had these two main concerns, so I think you answered my questions. So is this a separate job? I mean, this a role, or it is a part of the performance tester needs to know this, or DevOps engineer needs to know this?
Yeah, that's again a good question. See, what happens generally, nowadays in the organization, though it's a separate practice, though but everyone is into cost cutting, right? So how now the chaos engineering is used as, like for example, there are different cases. For example, now let's say I'm taking an interview for a performance engineer. Okay, so what I'm clearly looking for is a performance engineer with chaos engineering knowledge. Okay, so what happens is I can make the same guy, like I can utilize the same resource for chaos engineering and also performance engineering, because chaos engineering generally doing it separately as a mainstream practice, generally the organizations are not fully open to that. Okay, so generally what they're looking for is a person who has multiple domain knowledge. Okay, so that's the main, I will say 60% or 70% of the requirements which I have seen in the market. So whoever is performance engineer, like let's say 10 people are there, okay, whom I'm taking interview, and out of that 10, 8 people are good at performance engineering. They are very good, good knowledge in that, and let's say they are all pretty much of the same experience range. Okay, now out of that 10, let's say two people have even worked on chaos engineering with performance engineering. We choose that those two, okay, over the other 8, because they have an extra domain knowledge. And what's the good thing about chaos engineering is people who work on chaos engineering, they have in-depth knowledge of the architecture also. Okay, so generally what I have seen is sometimes performance engineering, you don't have that much exposure to the architecture, what's behind it, how the systems work and all. But chaos engineering, if you have to do, you have to know the architecture, what it is, how it working, how the Kubernetes is working and all, right? So that way they have an edge over the architecture also. So yeah, so generally nowadays 70% or 60% chaos engineering is used as an add-on, where you get an edge over other candidates, and let's say 30% of the market is for purely chaos engineering, but it's again a mix. Okay, chaos engineering with SRE, chaos engineering with in that way, but with the specific chaos engineering single-handed, like who is working on chaos engineering, you might see lesser market demand, but it will be like in maybe 1 or 2 years it will become mainstream. Yeah. just to
Yeah,
give an
Vishnu.
overview. Yeah.
So I have one more question. Like we use a hybrid cloud environment basically. So can we use
Mhm.
this chaos engineering in hybrid cloud? And we have a stub system basically for performance engineering. So
Yeah, you
can we
can, you
use?
can. There is no problem in using like there is no limitation regarding whether it's hybrid or not. You can, but only thing is you will have to configure the agent separately because both are on different cloud. So you might have to, maybe if there is no communication link between each other, then you might have to install the agent on both the clouds, or like whatever clouds you're using, or even sometimes what happens is your systems might be on premise, off premise, both, right? Like some
Yes.
applications might be on premise, some might be off premise. So in those situations what you have to do is you might have to configure the tool in both the systems. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, can we use it in stub systems?
Stub systems also you can, but you cannot see. What I meant to say is the system which is based on stub, yes, you can. But for testing a stub, I don't know, like no one
No,
does
no,
it.
no.
Yeah.
System based on stub, like the backends
Okay,
are
okay. Yeah,
stub
yes.
actually.
Obviously, yes, we can. Yes.
Hi, Vishnu. I have a question.
Yeah, hi.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah, so regarding, programming, like how much programming knowledge is required throughout this chaos? Like,
okay,
for
yeah,
example, this
that's
family.
mhm,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah. So that's a very again a good question for I guess many of you would have this doubt. But see, this course is mainly modeled for mainly for those who are into testing domain or the QA domain. Okay, not into development domain. And also this course is, as I said, chaos engineering is an activity which is mainly focused on the infrastructure. Okay, so so the coding knowledge as such to develop like Java or some Python or some other language, it's zero. Okay, but you might have to learn some commands, like you need to by heart some commands and all, okay, which I will be giving a big sheets and all. So like some, for example, kubectl commands you might have to learn. You might have to learn some shell commands, okay, but what all I'll be covering, you have to learn only that. You don't need to go be outside, or like I will not say go and read and come back, nothing like that. Okay, so everything will be covered inside this course, so no worries
okay,
regarding that. Yeah.
thanks.
Hi, Vishnu, this is Sundar.
Yeah, hi Sundar.
Hi. I think we have an various tools in chaos engineering, right? So why Gremlin is familiar comparing with the other tools?
The main thing is like you need some tool which is reliable and whom you can go for the support, right? Gremlin is a paid tool. Obviously they have a 24/7 support if you are using a paid tool. So if, like, let's say if you come across some problem, you are like, if you have an open source tool, you don't have anyone to point your finger to, right? But Gremlin, it's a paid tool, and I guess it's the only reliable paid tool available in the market solely for chaos engineering. Like you have many others like AWS FIS is there, some other paid tools are there, but again they have limitations. AWS FIS is mainly for the only AWS cloud things. Okay, so if you don't have your systems on AWS, that is gone. Okay, so Gremlin is the only tool which is paid and you have support for. Okay, a real time support. Yes, that's the reason why everyone is looking into Gremlin, and obviously it is very easy to use also. Like the time it takes to apply Gremlin in an organization to for other any tool, if you see, it is very less. Like you can just apply Gremlin in 10 to 15, maximum 15 days, okay, to any system. So that fast the application is. Okay.
Okay. So can we learn litmus chaos as well?
Actually, see, initially we had planned litmus course, but based on the feedbacks what we got from different organizations, we took Chaos Mesh as because what we saw is, even I'm not calling out the organization names and all, but they are all planning to apply like numbers, okay, not like everyone, but out of 10 organizations, like there are multiple tools. So based on that, we heard Chaos Mesh more, okay, so because it has a good UI also, which makes it very good. So that's why we are going with Chaos Mesh. Litmus Chaos, I'm with so much content, I know I'm not sure whether I will be cover that one also, but let's see. If time constraints are not there, I can give a small overview.
Okay. Thank you.
And just to convey that also, this course will be generally mainly around 22 to 20 to 22 hours in that case, because based on the interaction, it might go little longer, about 20 hours. But yeah, that's 20 hours is what we have planned this whole course to. From start, so maybe around 20 working days we can consider. And even some, if you want to if you want to complete it quickly or something, based on the audience, like no forcing, or like no, there's no hard thing, like. But yeah, if someone is interested for weekend, maybe Saturdays, and they want to finish like 2 hours on Saturday, any Saturdays, okay, based on again based on the audience discussion, okay, we can
What are
take
the
some session,
timings for
otherwise all working days only. Yeah,
what are the timings for the regular classes?
it will be same timing, 7:30 a.m. IST to 8:30 a.m. IST. Right. Any other questions? Anyone related to the course or some concerns?
Vishnu, do we need to learn the Kubernetes and Docker as well?
No, that I will teach you. No, you don't need to learn separately. What all is required for a tester, not as much as a development point of view, but as a testing point of view, like what's Kubernetes, how to read a YAML file, how to debug Kubernetes, and all those I will teach you. Okay. So yeah, no worries.
So Vishnu,
Vishnu?
during training, are we going to use the cloud platform or are we going to use a personal laptop?
Actually, see, there was a problem, like we had to create a free trial account in AWS, but some had issues with that. So what I'm doing is, even I'm looking for a local machine solution. But the problem with Gremlin is we need a static IP.
Right.
So what happens when you do on local machine, your local machines don't have static IP. So there comes the problem. So what now we are doing is AWS. We are using AWS for the all the deployments and all, which is a free trial account. Anyone can create and use it. For 1 month they are giving the free trial. Um, but yeah, obviously I will look for some local machine solution also. If I get that solution, I will share with you all in the process.
Okay.
Do
And
you have a
will this
sample?
training also help us to get the Gremlin certification?
Yes, yes, exactly. By the end of the sessions, we will finish the certification also. I will
Okay.
help you out for that. But anyways, I don't think by the end of the session you will even need my help, because what all questions I have seen in that certification, because I have seen it multiple times in different batches. It's almost, I don't know, like maybe 6 to 8 or 10 batches which I have completed now. So every batch I have done that. So whatever I have seen like is not covered, or everything I have already covered in the course. Okay, so it will be very easy for you to anyways do the certification. So, but I will anyway sit online and we will discuss and solve it. Okay, not a problem.
Thank you, Vishnu.
Do you have a sample
Yeah.
file to share with us today? Just the planning, reporting,
Again, the
dashboard.
voice is little low. I don't know whether
Oh,
Sundar or Sharath.
I'm asking, do you have a sample file from the previous batches that you can share today if you don't have anything else to talk about?
Sorry, Sharath, can you go little loud? Actually, I'm not able to get any.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you have a sample file for the planning, monitoring, and reporting that you have used in the previous batches to show us
Yeah,
so
so
we
I
can
will be, yeah, that is, they are true. I will be sharing a whole Google Drive link with you with lots of materials. This is the link which I will share with you all. There are a lot of materials which we will be using overall in this course. Okay. Even the commands, if you see, for example, if some Kubernetes commands, or if I'm using, or some Docker commands, everything, whatever I'm using will be provided to you.
Yeah,
Even the
I mean to ask,
modules,
can you show us one uh, use case now? Just a use case to get a feel of it, how it looks like.
yeah, so for
Otherwise, we
example, yeah, so that we will discuss. Even tomorrow, I think you have the same demo session continuing. So no worries, you will have one more session to attend. So yeah, there won't be any problem. Okay, so tomorrow it will be like more sort of a real session only. Even today, I will might start. Still, we have 10-15 minutes. We will be starting the real sessions from tomorrow, and I guess maybe 1 or 2 sessions they allowed to for everyone to continue. So won't be a problem. You'll be able to understand how the course is. Only thing is this link drive materials and all I will be able to share, because they will be sharing it only after you have the final joining. So yeah.
Yeah, one more thing, Vishnu, like you told about YAML file, right? So will you be
Yeah.
teaching us the YAML file creation part also, or
Not the creation, but how to read a YAML file. Like for example, if you open a YAML file, there are different components inside YAML, right? So
In
as a
yes,
tester,
twenty-three,
you
if
will
you
never
are not
generally
using
create a
AI
file,
to
but
make your
you will
boring
have to
data
read a
like this,
file and understand the characteristics of the system, right? So that I will teach you. Okay, how you read, what
uh,
are the different main components you need to look in the YAML file, what is a type, what is a kind, and all those, right? What are the resource limits, requests, and all those. Yeah.
Vishnu, can we create a 30 days Gremlin free trial account?
Yeah, again, that what I will be doing is I have a paid account, Gremlin, because I am closely related to Gremlin, so I get a paid account because we are in the group of beta testers of Gremlin. So any update which comes in Gremlin will come to us first. Okay, so then go to the outside world. So I have a paid account. So what I will be doing is I will be adding all the final batch groups to the paid account. So you can use it for maybe I will keep your user, yeah, like user for 1 month. Uh, till 1 month, you can use the paid account.
Okay.
Just only constraint is you don't overutilize. Like overutilize means like I have an account with 35 targets, I think. So targets are basically how many machines you use. Okay, so everyone I will expect to at least do not go beyond 2 machines. Okay, so yeah.
machines in the sense is it experiments or
No, the nodes. Like you have a
okay,
cluster, you
okay.
have two nodes. Yeah. So in our demo also, we will be using two nodes, not more than that. See, nodes doesn't matter. Minimum it should be two. You can go beyond 2, 10, 20. But based on the nodes, you have to take the license. So like if you want to go to 100 nodes, 100 targets license you have to take.
Oh,
Okay, so that way it is. The Gremlin is. Currently, I have a license of 35 targets, which is more than enough because I don't think you would have seen any system which has more than 35 nodes. Okay, very rarely it will be so big. So 35 targets is more than enough uh, because it's basically the services which you test, right? So you don't need to some like if even at all if you have 100 nodes, but that will be divided among the services. Okay, so one
yes.
service with 100 nodes, I don't know any organization, maybe Amazon or someone, not sure. Yeah.
Is Chaos Mesh open source too?
Sharad, uh, can you please be little loud?
Oh, is Chaos Mesh, is it a open source too?
Yeah, it's an open source tool. You don't need to pay anything. So there's no problem of any license and all.
Vishnu, is there any subscription for the Gremlin certified to use the Gremlin?
Yeah, so that's what I said. So in current course, I'll be giving you the paid subscription for 30 days free. No problem. But after that, yeah, if you want to continue in an organization, you might have to buy the license.
Yeah, for
In this,
buying also we need. I mean, do we have any subscription for the certified? I mean, Gremlin
yeah, I will show
certified.
you. So generally, it's how it looks like. Okay. So generally, see if you go to the if you buy a license, okay, it will be looking like this. So you have a pro license basically. So you have 30 targets and whatever the start date and end date is. Okay, you will have all those this. So based on these unique targets, no, which you have, based on this, your license cost will increase. Like if you have more targets, more cost; less target, less cost.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Uh, Hi Vishnu, this is Sharat. I think I missed something like one before while you're talking. So uh, once we complete this course, will we be able to complete the chaos engineering certification as well?
Yes, yes. I will be helping you out in that certification. We will be doing it. Yes. That is also there at the end. Okay, let me add that also. And in the steps, okay. Since all many are y- we have it. Okay. Already it's there, just I didn't write it here.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Uh, Vis Vishnu, like
So with respect to the performance engineering, we have the key considerations, right? A few of the parameters we can consider as part of the performance engineering. So similar way, what are the key parameters we can consider in the chaos engineering?
Yeah, so like the recovery time, the liveness probe, heartbeats. Okay, these are the key point indicators which you have in the. We will be discussing in very detail, but these are like which
Okay.
I can call out now. Yeah.
Vishnu, we will be discussing about chaos engineering as well, right? The engineering concepts.
Sorry. Like, can you call out few? Like, what do you mean by? Yeah.
So they are a set of engineers who describe some principles for chaos engineering, right?
Yes,
Means the
yes, yes.
discussion
Yeah,
will
yeah.
be really.
Obviously, that we will be discussing at the starting itself. Like, what are the principles of chaos engineering? How to write a steady state? How to write a hypothesis? All those.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Sure.
What's a blast radius and all those? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because without that, anyways, we are not. We will be not clear about chaos engineering. Okay. So
Mm.
that's the foundation. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi Vishnu.
Yeah. Hi. Hi,
I
Pradeep.
have one agenda that I need to work on RDS chaos engineering as well as on Kafka. Is it possible to teach you on those two?
Currently, I'm not covering RDS as such because I'm choosing one out of that, like either RDS or either Redis. Okay, one of those. But it's very easy. Okay, I can give you like some overview of how you use it, and it's very similar also. You just need to set it up the Gremlin for RDS, and you can inject the latency or because it's a database, right? Generally, we run with a latency attack or a crash attack. So
Okay.
that you can easily do with Gremlin. Yes.
What about Kafka?
Kafka
That
also
too from the
similar thing.
Confluence.
Yes, yes,
From the
same thing. I
Confluence.
mean,
As of
yeah,
now, we are using Chaos Mesh, but I want the extension of Chaos Mesh for the RDS as well as this one.
okay.
Kafka. Is it possible to work on the with Chaos Mesh?
Yeah, it's possible. Yes, it's easily possible. Only thing is you will have to configure it for RDS. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh, Vishnu, I have a final question here. So actually, like we are moving infrastructure to on-premise to Azure infrastructure.
Yeah.
So can this chaos engineering will help me?
Exactly. See, no, there is no problem whichever cloud you are using, whether it's AWS or Azure. Whatever we are learning here, you can apply on any cloud. Okay. Because only thing what the constraint here is, you might be seeing the tool, like what tool we are using. Okay, like Gremlin or Chaos Mesh. Based on the tool you use, things might change, like how you do the attack. But otherwise, the fundamentals, everything is applicable to any cloud, any system. Okay, so there is no problem in that.
Okay.
And obviously, as you're saying, it's a technology transformation which is happening. Chaos engineering can help you a lot in that because you can, what chaos engineering is capable of is not only testing something but also testing something which is new, right? Because before you put
Yes.
it into production, you can test it. Yes.
Hi, Vishnu. So,
Yeah. Hi, Madhu.
yeah, hi. The recorded sessions, right? That can we able to revisit? I mean,
Yes,
for
all
our
the
of.
recorded sessions will be given to you, lifetime access. I think in the YouTube they will upload, and it will be given as a private access.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for us. Yeah. Okay. Okay, then, yeah. So if no more question, anyways, it's just 5 minutes remaining. So not jumping into the course now. Tomorrow we can start the course with the sessions. Okay, one more question I have. Yeah, LS. I don't know what's the full name, but yeah, LS,
So
please go
other
ahead.
than Jenkins, yeah, other than
Yeah.
Jenkins, will we have some material to do the same CI/CD process in Azure DevOps?
No, I can provide you some materials separately, but it's not from my course. But yeah, we are covering only Jenkins for now because already we are having a lot of things to cover. If I add more, then the course will become longer. Okay, so yeah.
Okay, but if like you would be having the knowledge, so it's easy to do that in Azure DevOps as well, right?
Yes,
It
yes,
is
you can.
already
Yes,
having the support.
there's no problem in that. Yeah, you can easily because these are all APIs which you have. Using the APIs, you can do in any automation tool. Okay, not a problem. Yeah, Helia,
Vishnu,
go ahead.
so Vishnu, the class starts tomorrow, right? So how many
Yeah,
days in how many days in a week?
it is working days, so 5 days a week or which like based on the working days which you have. Okay, and total 20 working days you will have.
Oh, it's a continuous days.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And if like as I said, it's purely on the audience side. If audience have some public holidays which majority will be not there, maybe long weekend and all, in that cases we can also postpone the sessions, not a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Hilia, go ahead. Hilia, I'm audible. I saw your hand raised. If you have any mic issues, you can even type the message. Prasanna?
Uh, am I audible?
Yeah, Prasanna, you are audible.
Yeah, Vishnu. So there would be free trial available in Gremlin, right? So was that not available nowadays?
No, it's there, but only one at like they have constrained the number of attacks which you can do. Okay, so that's why I'm giving you the
Okay, okay,
paid account, which is free. Okay, I will be giving it to you for 30 days.
okay. Understood. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just to for everyone for again who are not who didn't maybe get the point. So I have a paid account, an organization account. So I will be adding you all to the team. Okay, so you will be able to access everything in Gremlin, and that I will keep for 30 days. Why this 30 days constraint is because as I keep adding the batches, more number of users, I might run out of number of users limit also. So that's why I just keep the 30 days limit. One and that also I might not delete after 30 days based on the users how they come. I will be deleting it. Okay, not yeah. So you will be able to use it.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, Helia, we can hear you.
Yeah. Are we using like Jmeter or any other tools for load?
Yeah, there is a
You know?
section where I'm speaking about Jmeter and Gremlin integration. That time we will see Jmeter very lightly. Okay, like not very in depth, but to create a small Jmeter script with Gremlin. Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Vishnu, will you guys provide the sample resumes after the course completion?
Yeah, I can. I can. Yeah, I can provide you with the sample resume. Yeah, not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, okay then. If no more questions, let's drop. Let's continue tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone, and thank you for attending the day one. Thank you.
Vishnu, one last question. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Sharat. Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, like this Gremlin and Chaos Mesh would be these two. I mean, like there are a lot of tools, right? Like Litmus and these things. So out of those things, these two would it be sufficient for us to get into this chaos engineering part of in the corporate
yeah.
wherever
More
we are
than enough
right?
because more than enough. One is open source and one is paid. So you have
Mm.
one each. Like it's like basically saying Jmeter and LoadRunner. Okay, so it's
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
are
yeah.
covering everything. Okay, it's everything.
Okay,
And only thing is, see, obviously, if you go to a new organization, they might have new, but the person who is interviewing you, he will not see whether you know that tool because in chaos, this chaos engineering is a very new concept. Okay, so it's not that everyone will know all the tool. So what they
okay,
expect is, but you know chaos engineering and you have done the activity on at least one of the tools. Okay, so
okay.
that's what yeah they will be looking for.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay then. Uh, thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank you, Vishnu. Thank you.
Thanks, Vishnu.